Are you struggling with creative blocks when making music? You don't know how to start a track, how to come up with ideas, and sitting for hours in front of your door, getting no results, and feeling frustrated because your tracks never sound as good as references? If this is you, in this video, I'm going to teach you a bulletproof system so that you can constantly stay in the flow every time you start making music. You will learn how to overcome perfectionism, come up with unlimited high quality ideas, and finish your tracks 2 to 4 times faster. And this is the track that we are working with today. So let's address the main problem first, how to stay on track when you are producing music, because music production is really linear. Your mind will be jumping from one thing to another, and to make sure that you are productive, that you're staying on track, you have to stick to a system. And when you have a game plan and structure for your workflow, you finish tracks consistently. You eliminate second guessing and stay in the flow state all the time. You think less and produce more, and the process becomes easy and enjoyable. So this is how it looks for most of you, like 90% of producers out there. You make a track and then you jump from one thing to another. You start self-sabotaging yourself, going back, overthinking, and all this stuff. But don't worry, it is actually very easy to fix. And here's how you can stay on track. Always check in with yourself. At what stage am I right now? Am I following the plan or jumping from one thing to another? Am I stuck for too long with one of the steps? And also, you want to move quickly. Here you can also see the process of how you can go step by step. So creating idea, outlining the structure, creating main sections for the track, connecting sections, finishing arrangement, fine-tuning, and finishing. So let's now talk about the process that you can use to come up with ideas, with unlimited high-quality ideas, and how to finish tracks. So first is going to be creating an idea for the track and stealing like an artist. So let's jump back to the track that I've shown you, and let's listen to the reference track, and you're gonna realize that I stole the idea, and it is okay because we are using it for inspiration. And I just made my version of the same idea, but with a little bit twist to it. So it is similar, but it sounds like me. So let's talk about why this approach is so useful. So step number 1, creating the idea. When you are in learning phase, if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you are, the best way to come up with ideas is to steal them from the tracks you like, because the idea is proven to work. You will understand what elements are working and why they are working in the track. So for example, why they have this bass, why they have this structure, and so on. And you eliminate writer's block, as you only need to copy in the beginning. So when you are copying elements from the reference track, for example, some of the elements are almost the same. So bass, drums, they are kind of the same in my example, and some of the elements are different. So it could be like leads, vocals, what have you. So first you want to focus on recreating the elements from the track that you like. So bass, drums, and so on. Copy till the point you feel the idea is starting to sound good, and get away from the reference and add your twist to it. So we're using it to build the foundation, so then you can use your creativity and make the idea sound unique to you. So let's jump back into the project and we can have a look at different sections of the track. So you heard the reference, and here's another section that I made and I added my twist to it just to show you like creative process. Very similar, but check it out. And one more time, check the reference here. And this is what happened. I just made my lead a little bit different. And that's the whole mindset. That's the whole approach about stealing like an artist, because there's no true originality. And if you're trying to put yourself into a box, put creative limitations on yourself, like what is right and what is wrong, I should do like this and I shouldn't do like that, this is bullshit. There's no right and wrong in music production. You can do whatever you want. And this approach will make your life as a producer easier like 10 times, right? Let's talk about the next thing. Shifting your mindset, because this is going to happen to you. You might get frustrated if you can't copy 100% from the reference, or if your track sounds worse, right? Don't overthink it. You are using a reference to build a foundation for your track. So I want you to focus on this. Notice the moment when you start feeling frustrated and disregard the reference track at this point. Focus on developing your original idea. So we can jump back into the project, and I can be like very, very frustrated that, oh, maybe my track is not sounding as clean. Maybe like the mixing is not good, the bass, the kick, the lead, the drums, but it's just different and it is okay. You're not trying to copy this. It's more like you do your thing. And the reference. I do like my track like a little bit more. Sure, I could improve it, but then again, like, get out of your own way. Get out of your head, okay? Okay, next thing. A lot of producers are stuck in the perfectionist mindset. You're trying to make the track sound perfect from the beginning. You end up frustrated if it doesn't sound as good as you want. When you are in a bad mental state, you lose the focus and the flow state. You wasted hours sitting in front of your door with no results. Your music production session was ruined. You ruined it yourself. You develop resistance and start procrastinating on music because the process is not enjoyable, and the cycle repeats. So in this example, I could get frustrated because, oh, at this point the track is not sounding good, but this is your choice. You can choose to have very high expectations. You can choose to get attached to the result. And at the same time, you can detach and you can just show up, just do the project. And I want you to understand that you can always make it better. Even if you don't achieve the planned results today, it doesn't matter, because tomorrow you can show up and within like 30 minutes, you can tweak a couple of sounds and the track will sound amazing. So that it is conscious decision. Just detach it, don't overthink it, and don't try to make it sound perfect in the beginning. And you're gonna say thank you, because this is gonna help you to overcome the perfectionism. You want to focus at one thing at the time so that you can stay in the flow state longer. Eliminate as much friction and mechanical work as possible so you focus on creative things. The micro and macro building blocks. So micro building blocks is sound designing the bass, picking the sounds for the track, creating drum grooves. So basically, micro building blocks is when you're working, like when you're focused on a small section of your track and you're trying to make it sound good or like make it sound perfect, like what have you, right? And the macro building blocks is creating and developing idea for the track, arranging the track, recording automation, writing melodies, and so on. So the macro is when you think this way. So for example, me making this idea, then making this idea, and then this idea, this is what moves the track moves the needle and helps me to finish the track. And everything that is like this is micro, right? So I want you to look at your workflow and think, how often do I waste time doing micro things that could be automated, or doing micro things that in the big context don't make a lot of sense? In most cases, producers focus too much on micro details that are unimportant. So like, sure, you can try to make this loop sound perfect, but if you're not moving the track, right? If you're not moving it to the right, not arranging it, like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not gonna help you to finish the track. And a lot of people just don't realize it. One step at the time, create the idea for the track. So we talked about this. Now let's talk about outlining the structure for the whole track to see the arrangement visually, right? So we can go here. And if you look at what I did, let me actually go to the slide and explain. You take a reference track and you make color code different sections of the track, so you can visually see what is happening to the energy, what elements they are adding, and so on. So this way, I know what exactly I need to do in the track to finish it quickly. So what I did for this track is, you can see here, this is the minimal drop, and we can go like this and just listen to. Then in the reference, I hear, okay, so there's some percussion kicking in. So I added percussion here. And then you just go through the whole track, you outline it here. Again, same thing. If you listen to the first section, this is one lead pattern. And there's the second one. Right, it goes one octave lower, and this is what I did to my track. So this is like +1. And this is pretty much the whole thing, right? So this is the second step of the idea creation. And then you want to create main sections for the track. Drop, break, second drop, and so on. This is how it's going to look like. You want to outline the arrangement. I'm gonna link 2-3 arrangement videos that you can watch, so I don't have to repeat myself, because I dive really deep into the arrangement. Here I just want to talk about the concept itself, right? So what you can do is you make the intro drop, you make the main drop, maybe like a little variation drop, no drums, drop climax, and so on. So before you start arranging, we're still in the idea creation process. You create all the main parts of the track, and then you create those building blocks. And after you do that, it will be so much easier for you to connect them, because we are not trying to, let's say, arrange this 8-bar loop, right? Let's say you just have this. Oh shit, how do I go from this into the finished track? You start arranging that like from left to right, and of course you feel stuck because there's no system. Arranging from left to right, it's outdated advice. It's not gonna make a lot of sense to you, okay? And now let's talk about the next thing. You're struggling to arrange tracks because you don't have the full context. Having 8 and even 16-bar loop is not enough. You need to see a bigger picture to understand what elements to add and how to finish your track. Because if you're just gonna be looking at this, let's pretend there's nothing in the arrangement, you are too narrow-minded. You're too like in the box, not looking at the full picture. But once we have the whole thing, okay, so maybe we could have another section with a similar melody but a different sound, because now I can see on like a bigger scale, okay, this is the intro, this is another variation, and yeah, okay. And then there's the second variation to the drop. So the number one piece of advice is to start arranging immediately after you get a couple of long loops, as we have discussed. Okay, so let's go back to the process. We covered how to create the idea for the track, outlining the structure of the whole track, creating main sections for the track. And this is basically the idea creation. And then after that, you start connecting sections. So this is more like finishing the idea. The first three is more like creating the idea. This is finishing. And then you finish the rough arrangement draft, which we're not going to cover in this video, so it's too short. Then you fine tune the sound design, make your sounds fit perfectly. You do automation and movement, and then you mix the track. Right? So basically for the idea creation is just those 3 steps, okay? And the last thing for today, I'm going to show you some examples with that too. Overcoming perfectionism. It took me 9 years to realize this. So let's listen, guys. Not every music idea will sound perfect, and it is okay. Do not punish yourself, because this is your decision. You're consciously punishing yourself. You are putting too much expectations and pressure on yourself, attaching to some sort of like intangible result to those unrealistic expectations. And this is causing you pain. If you just stay in the process, not attaching, it's going to be a lot easier. So yes, you're going to be creating shitty tracks. Now, so what? Does it make you a bad producer? Does it mean that you're never going to learn? No, not at all, right? So you want to focus on fleshing out the idea into your DAW first, then work on making it sound good. And this is what a lot of people get absolutely wrong, because by putting so much expectations, again, you're just shooting yourself in the foot and you are making it harder. So let me show you 2 examples of the same track. This is version number 3 of another track, and this is version number 13. And version number 3 is pretty shitty. The balance is off, everything is off, and it just doesn't sound as good, right? Like the bass is off, the drums are not very groovy, the lead is pretty like dead, it's not too dynamic. And now listen to the version number 13. This is like mixed and mastered version. So do you see how much better this sounds? But it took me 10 versions of the track and like 5 hours to get from 3 to 13. And this is the concept. Never worry about technical stuff in the beginning. Sometimes it will sound like shit, but then you change a few sounds and the track becomes a banger. That's the thing. People worry too much about that, when in reality, you just need to get the idea, and if the idea is good, you can always come back and fine tune it. And this is the mindset shift that I want you to have, guys. Okay? And the last thing, perfectionism is a decision. You're putting too much pressure on yourself. Let go of all the thoughts and expectations. Keep working on the track and see the magic happen. And I absolutely guarantee and promise, if you just keep working on the track and you follow a system that I described in this video, you will not struggle with perfectionism, you will finish more music, you will come up with unlimited ideas, and so on. If you need help with taking your music production skills to the next level, you want to start releasing on labels, sound like your favorite artist, finish music faster, check the links down below, go to my website and book a consultation. Let's have a chat. I would love to help you with your music. And don't forget to check out the videos here. I'm gonna link them. Those are the arrangement videos that will help you to understand the concepts from this video and master music production. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.